You're listening to the best of the Ray Powers Hour.
This is the Ray Powers Hour. I am back. And once again with me, things have changed from last year, but she's back. Lisa Coppola, the Cope, here in the Power Cove. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Apparently I have this nickname now, the Cope.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'll get in trouble with Mark Coppola, but, he was the Cope long before. But you know what? You can be like La Cope or something, or maybe La Copa.
No. The
Cope
is fine. It's fine. I'm working with it.
He's La Cope, you're just Cope.
Yeah, I'm Cope.
That works. I like it. Well, a lot's changed since you were last here. Last March, I think, right?
Yeah.
Let me look on the wall. Yeah, it was March.
I'm on your wall of fame.
You are.
Can you believe that?
With Michael Sweet.
With Michael Sweet, right?
That was my teeny bopper moment right there, getting to interview him.
Well, let me tell you something. If I got a chance to interview Eric Martin from Mr. Big, that would be my teeny bopper moment for sure.
And when I got to, I was a fanboy with poor Jerry Gaskill, too.
Were you?
I was like, remember that time you guys did Dogman? He's like, yeah. For the first 5 minutes, he's like, that was awesome. And yeah, he tolerated me, so it was cool.
But you know what? When you're wielding that mic, gives you some power, so you get to do that type of thing.
It was a lot of fun. And we just had reconnected, and after, it was just weird, like how, it's like, you sent me a tape 15 years ago. We're dating ourselves too much now.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. And, but for the most part, other than that, we were just getting to know each other. And here we are now, running this thing.
This thing
called radio.
But the tape, you have to clarify for people. If you're going to date yourself, you might as well say it was a VHS tape.
It was a VHS cassette that I threw in a VCR. And there was Lisa Coppola singing with Billy Joel, and I was like, wow. And
I still can't, first of all, I can't remember doing that. And secondly, why would I let go of one of my only 3 copies? I don't know.
Why would you give it to me?
I must have really wanted the gig that you had.
It was a good gig at the time. We had major management, and we did get in the chains. For those of you, let's bring everybody else into the in-joke. My band was Inner Soul. It was like 19... God, I just dated us. There we go. It was 19-something.
1990. Had to be 8.
7 or 8, yeah. It was. We were going from a male singer to a female. We just rebranded completely. We went through every male singer in Jersey, and they all had LSD, lead singer syndrome, and it was pretty bad. Or that's LSS, lead singer disease would be LSD.
Yeah, lead singer disease.
You get the point. But yeah, they were still going through that diva period. Nobody had realized it was all over.
But wait a minute. So I sent you the tape, and what happened? I didn't get the gig.
What happened there? I don't know what happened.
I don't remember what happened.
Neither do I. I don't know.
That is bad.
I know. I loved the video. And it's like, hey, this girl knows Billy Joel. Maybe we can open for Billy. It's like we had all these ideas, and I don't know. You were living close by at the time.
Yes, I was living in Lyndhurst.
Right.
At the time.
We talked about Garfield last time and how I walked home from Garfield. I never told the story because I don't remember the story.
Oh.
I've walked home from Lyndhurst plenty of times, but this is Rutherford. That's not that big of a deal.
It's like one town over.
Yeah. We go to the bakery all the time in Lyndhurst still to this day.
Yeah.
But, so exciting stuff going on. You're now Associate Program Director here at New Visions, still putting out records, still making videos, still just kicking ass at everything you do.
Well, I have to tell you, since March 24th of 2016, I'm looking at the wall here, so at least I know what the date was when I was here.
We have a point of reference, yeah.
Point of reference, because clearly we need it. But since then, you were the first one to spin Just a Little Time.
Yeah,
and
you gave me that honor.
Yeah, thank you for doing that, because it changed everything. And that thing, I've been kicking butt at indie ever since, because the fans just locked onto it from you spinning it, and they have been taking care of me ever since. So Just a Little Time did very well, and then Stuck to My Shoe did very well, and now we did the video for Save Us, and we're getting ready to release the single.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
It is tomorrow. The days just go into each other. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is tomorrow. It's good that we know that.
Yes. But it's been a crazy year, and I've just been so excited about how well it's been doing. And Leapdog Music is to blame for that, as well as you and the folks at Hamilton Radio and Indie Rock.
We take full responsibility. You were here on the eve of the release of Just a Little Time.
Yes.
Last time.
I was.
And now here it is, the eve of the release of Save Us, and you're back.
Yes.
Amazing. People are going to start to think like, oh, okay, I get it. She releases a single, comes on the Ray Powers Hour. I have some kind of like nepotism, and they're going to think I have this unfair pipeline to Lisa Coppola. And they're going to be like, yo, you got to share Lisa Coppola. Come on. Stop bogarting the cope.
Don't bogart the cope, man.
But hey, listen, I'm all about bogarting. You can have seconds, thirds. It all starts right here. Thursday night. It's radio night. Come on.
It's the start of the 4-day weekend.
Absolutely. Nikki Lee will attest to that.
Yes.
Ann and Andrew will attest to that. Plainfield Slim will certainly attest to that.
Yeah.
See that we plug you all through my show. We plug you. So I don't ever want to hear that I don't love you guys. All right. So we played Save Us as the fresh cut, and a lot of great feedback. A lot of great feedback on the video. That was a blast to shoot.
Oh my God. We shot that video and you and I barely even knew each other at that point. And so...
yeah, because we hadn't really talked since you came in February or March. You came and went. We kept in touch, but for the most part, I hadn't seen you again.
Right.
Until we shot that in the summertime.
Yes. But I think it was late June.
Yeah.
That we shot.
It was.
And funny story, here we are in a room trying to do the fight scene. And I hope some of you folks have seen the Save Us video.
Watch it. It's on YouTube.
Yeah. So it's on YouTube. And we were trying to come up with things to fight with each other about, but we didn't know each other. And the only thing that you knew about me is that I had a couple of cats.
Absolutely.
I do love cats. And you said, cats shouldn't exist. And I was like... trying to come up with something to come back.
Did he just say that? Yeah. We
also discovered, the director said to us, no, you cannot use the F word because people can read your lips.
They can read lips, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was worried that they'd be reading gibberish and things about cats, but yeah, the F word would have been worse.
Yeah, much worse.
Yeah. You wouldn't have had bad lip reading there. I know that one scene where I bang on the cushions and I scream. I remember, Bill jumping. And I said, that was a good take.
Bill Hendra was the guy that shot those scenes, and he did a great job.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And, it was a great day for the beach. It wasn't raining, thank God.
Yeah.
And the weather cooperated. And I've been outdoor for outdoor shoots, and you picked the wrong day, it could be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I for some strange reason, I decided to go out to Pittsburgh in March. Don't ask me why. They said 70 degrees. That was my indoor day.
In March?
Yeah.
70 degrees in Pittsburgh?
It was 70 when we had to do the scenes indoors. Mm-hmm. The next day, we were going to go outdoors. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a nice weekend. 29 degrees.
Oh, my God.
In one day. And it was like flecks of snow. And you ask anybody in Pittsburgh, that's our like third or fourth biggest market now, and they'll tell you.
So, but which video are you talking about here?
That was It's You.
That was It's You.
That was my first one, yeah.
Yeah.
And Cheryl Soros, who was a native of Pittsburgh, she was a Pittsburgh girl, and she manned up. She had a sleeveless wedding dress on top of Mount Washington. The wind is blowing. The real feel is about 18 degrees, and she's out there. You could see it. She's freezing, but she's, like a Pittsburgh Steeler with the bare arms, and she's just a Pittsburgh gal.
They're tough in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they certainly are. Blue collar. Good people. But, yeah, we know about that. Jersey's a working class state.
It is.
We work hard. We work hard for everything we have.
I feel like that's all I do is work.
Hey, you know what? It keeps us honest. I don't know what I would do if I was living a privileged life. I guess I wouldn't know any better, but, you build success and you remember where you were 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and think of where you are today and all the hard work that it took to get here.
Yeah.
And you really can appreciate it.
I totally appreciate it. I'll tell you, before the release of Just a Little Time, I was wondering if I was going to continue songwriting.
Yeah, you told me that later.
Yeah. I mean, I was not sure about what the avenues were for artists, and it's amazing what a thriving indie market there is out here, and indie radio is just taking off. It's like an indie revolution. I kind of feel like, and I might have said this before, that we are like the Haight-Ashbury of the 60s.
The upstart, yeah.
Yeah. And so the fans are really amazing. They take care of the artists, and
They're loyal.
they're very loyal. So I'm really thrilled to be here.
You people in the chat room, stand up and be counted. We know you're there. Every last one of you rowdy people. And, you and I are in the chat room all the time when we're not doing this. Well, when I'm doing this, I'm multitasking. Especially on days like today where there's no interns. But, Anthony's here.
Anthony is definitely
He's here.
here.
He's going to... Can I tell him? I mean, can I just break the surprise, or you want to break it?
No, you can go ahead.
Oh. Well, Lisa Coppola and Anthony and myself, we might play, if you're good, we might play a song for you live on the air. Can we do that?
I think that we can.
Oh. What do you think, chat room? I think they'll like that. I think they would be okay with the whole show being just live music. Just the three of us just banging out for the full hour, but...
yeah, I don't know that we can do all of that, but
take requests.
We can definitely do one for you. You heard Save Us already, so we'll do something for you that
something you know.
That you know.
Okay.
All right.
You can take a request as long as it's the right song. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one we know. Yeah, I'm excited to play with you. Last time I got to watch you and James Popick, Robin Tricker, Tracy Souza, and you guys. I got to sit back and just. I was wowed. That was a really good entourage you put together.
Yeah, they're amazing artists. Those folks.
Yeah. But I got to play with Anthony at the toy drive in December.
Yeah, we did the toy drive, and he's a lot of fun, and he's quite the snappy dresser.
Yes, he is.
He is the snappy dresser. I'm gonna put some pictures of him out there so you guys can get a feel for the way that he dresses. It's definitely unique.
It's but you look like a rock star. I mean, it's real important to not just go out in a jeans and t-shirt, sweatpants. It's like there was a period. That's what I hated most about the late '90s. Is like people just went out. It's like you look like you walked out from a bus stop and just walked on stage. It's like, is that the custodian or is that the lead singer?
Oh, the flannel shirts.
Not even the flannel shirts. It just became like, I rolled out of bed and I have a Speed Racer t-shirt and I've got pants that don't fit me and I couldn't comb my hair because who cares?
But I do think that it had to happen.
I know it did.
I knew it had to happen because it was like the anti-glam rocker thing.
The Poison thing became, you had Cinderella, Britney Fox, Black Eyed Susan. It just became a carbon copy of a carbon copy. No disrespect. I love all those bands.
Me too.
Shout out to Philly, you guys. And I got to open for Black Eyed Susan.
Nice.
But, the whole thing is it just became, they'll tell you, it became a caricature of themselves because the record companies were pressuring them.
Right.
Hey, this formula worked 4 years ago. Let's just keep doing it.
Right.
And, so much music just became,
I saw Nirvana for the first time and I looked at that and I saw Kurt Cobain and I saw the clothing and I was like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh, exactly. That's weird.
It's all gonna change.
It was a collective uh-oh. The Cat Club, Trash and Vaudeville went uh-oh.
Yep.
$250 leather pants. Yeah. It was a sobering wake-up experience, but you're right, it had to happen because things come in cycles.
Yeah.
And now, with internet radio, with indie stuff, you can just do anything you want. Ivory Tower Project, perfect example. They're putting out an album. It's out digitally, and I think the hard copy comes out real soon.
Right.
And it's just whatever they want. It sounds like it could have been recorded in 1982, 2002. It's just great music. It's just like, let's just go out and write a song. Who cares? There's no time period. We don't have to reference anything. We don't have anybody's ass to kiss.
Yeah, I agree with that because I feel like I don't have to worry about shifting outside of the genre that people try to peg me in.
Right.
I used to be a rock singer, and then
a belter,
and pegged as a blues singer, and then I wanted to sing country. I can do all of it. I can write songs the way that I hear them in my head, and I can record them the way that I want to. So it's different out here in the indie world.
And the only advantage to having any cohesiveness when you're putting together like an EP is that people know what they're getting. Yeah. So it's good to do a blues album, a country album, or a collection. I mean, but at the end of the day, if you just do a collection of singles, you can do anything you want.
Right.
7 days of writing, you might have 7 different moods. Mm-hmm. So just go out and do it. And that's the beauty of, I think, radio in 2017 and making music. There's so many ways to do it. I talked to Kenny Dubman. He sat right there. And we talked about that. He said he doesn't miss the whole A&R thing with Prophet, and it was a great time, but he just, you saw the writing on the wall, and it's like, something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't know what, and it was scary because you just don't know. Is it a cliff? You know, is the whole ride going to end?
Right.
And it just evolves, I think. And in 10 years, we're not going to recognize what we're doing right now. We'll be like, oh my God, look at us. You know, I just hope we're still doing this. And,
Oh, I'm going to still be doing it. I'll
yeah,
be singing.
You'll be my boss.
You think?
I know so.
It could happen. No, but I feel like I'm going to be singing and songwriting until the day that I leave this planet. It's just,
that's in your DNA.
Yeah, it's in my DNA. I love it so much. Sometimes I hate it, but I love it so much. I can't imagine doing anything else. It's so much a part of me.
If anything that you're that passionate about, you're gonna love and hate at times because it's so similar. I've always said the opposite of love is not hate; it's indifference.
Oh.
You know, love and hate is like, you know, it just seems like it's like one side of the leaf or the other. You know,
Right.
however it falls. But now we're getting too philosophical here. This is rock and roll.
This is rock and roll.
Well, anyway, you guys should definitely chime in if you're having a good time. Hit me up at the raypowershour@gmail.com. And Lisa Coppola, you have email too.
I do. If you hit me up at lisa@lisacoppola.com, it will always get to me. And
That
that's-
website.
Yeah, and it's always easy to remember that. And of course, my website is www.lisacoppola.com.
2 P's and 1 L.
Very good.
I'm Italian.
Yeah, you're Italian.
Half Italian.
When
I
you're
think
not Paviersky.
Right, I think with the Polish side of my brain, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walk in the walls and they go, hey, paisan, move it. Actually, the joke is I make myself an offer I can't understand.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's an oldie.
Yeah. I like that.
So, yeah, why don't we do this? Why don't we bring Anthony up if he's done eating? And what is Anthony doing anyway?
He's
He's
eating.
in the non-green room.
Every
eating.
time you come to the Ray Powers Hour, they make sure they feed you here.
We feed you good, yeah.
Yes.
It's, you know, Mom's Italian and Emma's part Italian, you know. She'll make sure you eat.
Yeah.
So, all right, why don't we do this? I'll tell you what, why don't we play a cut? Pick a song. Well, pick your favorite indie song. Like,
What?
what can't you get out of your head right now?
Gotta.
Oh, we're going to do that? We're going to do the Shameless again?
No. It's not shameless if I say it.
That's true.
But that's honestly true.
Lisa is bending my arm right now. And, oh, God. Oh, wait, fine, I'll play it. Why don't we spend Gotta? Hey, listen, you know, it was the number one song. No, it was the number 2 song this week on New Visions Radio.
Was
on the
it?
top 3, it was. Here I Am is still hanging on there at number 1.
And it was
Southern
number
Country.
1 on Southern Country Radio.
Our sister station, yeah.
And Gotta was number 3.
Yeah. There was a number 6 on there that I recognized, too.
Yeah, it might be a song you people know.
Yeah, and well, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say any more, but all right. Let's give this a spin right here. You know this guy. He's a shameless shyster. Ray Powers. This is Gotta right here on the Ray Powers Hour. This is the Ray Powers Hour. Actually, why don't you go ahead and try that? Give it a shot.
The Ray Powers Hour.
That sounds so much better than when I do it. I'm going
The
to, my
only
job is in
difference
jeopardy.
is that I'm a girl.
That's true, but that makes you... Listen, you walk into a bar, you don't pay a cover charge. They look at me and go, hey, you're wearing funny-looking jeans. Go take a walk. Do you know who I am? All right, well, come on in, but you're paying the cover. So, girls is no questions asked, you know?
You know, there are advantages to that.
Yeah, you know how it goes. So, yeah, that was Gotta, and it's doing real well right now. I'm very proud of it. It's on the Here I Am EP.
And so that EP, you decided to put out an EP that consists of how many tracks?
There's 3 on there, which is the minimum, really.
Right.
They're considering that an EP now. When we were growing up, an EP had to be at least 4 cuts because an album, you know, you had a record with 2 cuts on each side.
Right.
And but nowadays, you know, 3 songs is a lot, you know, in a singles market. So 3 songs qualifies as an EP. And I wanted to give somebody a bang for their buck. If they're going to buy a hard copy CD, you have to make it worth printing.
Right.
And so I gave them Here I Am, title cut to last year's single. Gotta, which we knew was going to be a hit. It was supposed to be a B-side, not a throwaway, but we wanted something as, you know, again, structure for the CD.
Right.
And it wound up coming out amazing. We listened to it and went, wow. We probably could have flipped it and put Gotta out, but we figured we'll save it. I have a really bad habit of holding on to songs for too long. It took me 2 years to release Here I Am. One Kiss was released in July of 14, and Here I Am was released in July of 2016.
Yeah,
with only
2
Christmas
years.
Miracle in between it, yeah.
But what was amazing is that you stayed on the charts for all that time.
I'll tell you, One Kiss had a lot of staying power, I have to say. And thank God, because, man, did I milk that song. And, thank God, Hollywood Howie and, Baby Moo, Cal Lacey and Mick, the Commander-in-Chief, and Gator. And they really milked it for me. The Pastors and, Badman, Barry, and the Boogeyman, and all these people who just played my songs. And, they're the ones who got it out there. Michael Knight, they're the ones who gave me... That song is probably responsible in a large way for this show and my gig here.
Right.
So it really had staying power.
But you also got nominated for a Nashville Universe Music Award for Best Songwriter.
I did, and that floored me. I mean, this is Nashville. This is where it's the songwriting capital of the universe, and my name is among people there, and it's like, wow, okay, And I stopped the whole thing of saying I don't belong there, because now it's like I'm just happy to be there.
Right.
I've learned that, enjoy it, but I mean, it really did afford me a lot, by way of, it didn't make me a multimillionaire. Let's face it. We know it's streams yield these days, but
correct.
It's just fun to be streaming. It's great to be out there. There's still magic in music,
and there's still magic in the fact that it's touching people.
Exactly. That's just it. We made a fun video.
Yeah.
And it's the whole experience. It's like we get to do what we love. I mean, how many people can say that? And do it for a living.
Yeah.
You get to go on the road with the like with the Bob Seger experience, Hollywood Nights, and see all these great people on a tour bus.
On a tour bus.
Living the rock dream.
It is living the rock dream. I have to tell you, I sleep better on that tour bus than I sleep at home sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. It's kind of like I close those little curtains. It's like being in a coffin, I guess. Maybe it's a little creepy. But I close those curtains. I put on some headphones.
Jeez, Lisa.
And I'm out cold. I sleep most of the ride.
I'm gonna have to put a mirror to your nose from now on, just knowing that.
Double check.
Wow, boy, oh boy, cut her head up before burying her, man. But I sleep a lot better when I'm on the road because when I'm home, I've got a 7-year-old kicking me in the ribs, and that's home to me. That reassures me that life is how it should be. But when you're on the road, it's a vacation. It's fun,
It is like a paid vacation.
And you get to meet people.
You get to meet a ton of people. When I'm sleeping at home, I've got an elbow in my ribs and 2 cats at my legs.
Oh, that's true.
So,
yeah, you sleep. There is a whole conglomerate.
A whole conglomerate. Yeah.
This is the Ray Powers Hour. I would say my special guest, but she's my esteemed colleague, my partner in crime, Lisa Coppola, the Cope. She's here. She's home, and we're basically co-hosting the show.
So I think we're going to do a song, right?
Yeah, we are. We do have to do a song. Yeah, time is starting to become an issue, so let's do this.
Okay, you are actually going to play bass. And folks, I have to say, he charted out this tune in like 2 seconds, which was a little bit weird.
Well, I mean,
You're
know
like
the song.
a savant of some type.
Yeah, that's the problem is I can do this. I tell Michael Zuko this. I can do this in my sleep, but then watch me go down the stairs. As you know, I don't always make it down the stairs in one piece. So, you have to give something to get,
Right.
What are you going to do? But I would take it this way. I'd rather have it like this.
Yeah.
Where I can do the music in my sleep. But yeah, let's get Anthony, and why don't we wow them with something that's current, something that they've heard probably 5 times today on the radio, but not like this.
Right. You haven't heard it stripped down like we're going to do it now.
All right, let me go to a quick promo. Let's get set up, and when we come back, we're going to have Anthony join us. Actually, I'll be joining you and Anthony, or I don't know what it is. Maybe you're joining Anthony and I. Maybe that's the case.
How about you two are joining me?
I like that. Let's do that.
All right, then.
See, the lady always wins. I told you. Give me a sec. I'll be right back. Ray Powers here with Lisa Coppola, and we have Anthony with us on guitar.
Anthony Sherry, right here.
In the Power Cove. All right, it looks like we're all set. You know what? We got to get right to it because, like I said, time is the essence here. If time flies when you guys come, it's amazing.
we're running out of time already. I feel like I just got here.
Well, you did, but we had the power trivia thing, and really, it's the back end of the hour. So, if we overstep our boundaries, we're going to hear from Nikki Lee, and we don't want to piss her off. No,
I don't want to. I don't want to upset Nikki.
She's the love coach. We don't want any hate out of the love coach.
No,
we love you. Alrighty, let's do this. Should we tell them what we're going to do, or should we go right into it?
Go right into it.
Oh man, I like this. Okay. Wow, we love to clap for ourselves.
I don't know, but we're doing it.
That was awesome. That was so much fun. Stuck to My Shoe, Lisa Coppola's current hit, burning up the charts with, my God, South Africa now.
South Africa.
You just broke South Africa.
Yeah, the Radio Indie Alliance chart came out, and Johannesburg, South Africa is where Fame Music Radio
Georg
is.
Hagelman. Yeah, that's our buddy.
Oh my God.
The Pack Show with Russ Williams and, all our friends here in the States, Gene at
from Hamilton.
Yeah.
And Paul Mack.
Q108.
Q108 in Canada.
That's right. Holla, Hollywood Howie. Speaking of holla. And right here at home on the Ray Powers Era here at New Visions. Stuck to My Shoe, certainly no stranger to the station, and I'm glad that you're not a stranger to the station. You've been such an asset, and you've only just begun. I mean, I don't know how much you want to tell them in advance, but there's a lot of cool stuff coming from the Cope, and or just Cope. I'm sorry, no infringement.
Cope.
Right?
You might be coping.
Oh, coping with something.
No,
boy.
I can't give it away yet.
No. Oh, you're leaving us hanging. That is mean.
I'm going to leave you hanging. But there is something really, really cool coming up.
On the horizon, yeah. Sooner than you think. But we're just about out of time here. I can't believe every time we get together this happens. We cause a lot of trouble, a lot of debauchery, a lot of tomfoolery. The chat room, it's chat being chat. What can you do?
Yeah.
Lauren Hill, Anne-Marie Paserno, Pammy and Jean
and
running
Lou.
in and out of there. Lou. Shouting out to everybody who's always in and out of the room, and we really appreciate it. Mad Mike always joins us.
And Deborah can finally get in.
Smoot is back.
Smooty
Patootie. We're all Smooty Patooties at heart. But, Lise, I mean, we'll come by again.
Thank you. You know what? I will stop by soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
You're a great
but
co-host.
I got to tell you, it's been since March 24th of 2016 when you first played Just a Little Time. Everything just took off and got great. So thank you for that.
I'm honored to be a part of that, and again, I look at it as you gave me that opportunity, you and John, to be that springboard. So it was a big co-conspiracy, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that I was a part of that, and that here we are, just taking over the world.
Yes.
And we're taking you with us. Don't worry, you're all coming for the ride. Someone's got to drive. I want to be in the back partying at some point. That was like 1980s, right? It just came out of like a Motley Crue video. Hey, own who you are. What the hell?
Yeah, you might as well.
We're goofy and we love it. All right, Lise, we got to run. Any last words for these people?
Go get Save Us and watch the video, because the video's out there on YouTube, and you get to see Ray and I fight with each other.
Yeah, we had fun.
Which is a lot of fun.
I played a real jerk, which means that was a day off. I didn't have to act at all. Oh, yeah, check out the video. You can get Save Us, any place you get your music. iTunes, Amazon. You can even get direct streams right from lisacoppola.com, can't you?
You actually can. And so that's from the forthcoming EP, you guys. It's going to be called Perfectly Imperfect.
I love that name.
Thank you, because I think it defines me.
Oh, it defines a lot of us, for sure, yeah. It is. It's a perfect name.
Yeah, and so that should be coming out probably around April, May of 2017.
Excellent. Leak the single early.
Leak it early.
And I like it, yeah. Okay, go get Save Us, Lisa Coppola, here at the Ray Powers Hour. You guys and girls, thank you for joining us. And give me a sec. I'll be right back. We're going to go hit that catering again.
Okay.
I need some salad, and there's some ravioli down there, too.
Oh, my God.
We just made the world hungry out there. Well, go get some chow, people. All right. I'll be back to wrap it up, and then I'm going to go join Lisa in the non-green room. Give me a sec. I'll be right back.
The Ray Powers Hour.
This is the Ray Powers Hour. I am back, and on the line with me, New York City singer-songwriter Elle. How you doing?
Doing amazing, Ray. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I've been looking forward to it. And you've got an album out, or you've got an EP out recently released. I can imagine you're touring to support that right now and playing anywhere and everywhere you possibly can to get this disc in people's hands.
Yes, absolutely. First of all, it's super exciting to be working with Star1.com, Star One Records. We connected after I submitted a song, the second song on the EP, 12 on Sunday, and Laura Patterson contacted me, and we talked about what else was, available, what I had recorded, and everything else. And we ended up agreeing that an EP would be great to start, and it came out December 1st of 2016, last year, a couple of months ago. And since then, it's been really a lot of fun because I've had a number of radio interviews, a couple of Skype interviews, and some video interview that I did with Google Plus with a gentleman named Joe Compton. And today I'm with you, and that's just fabulous because as I mentioned to you earlier, I was listening to Mickey Breyer, and you said something during that interview, or prior to it actually, that's just resonated with me. You said, that was an answer to someone who asked you if you were going to play some hip-hop songs. And you said, send it to me. A great song is a great song. And,
Absolutely.
That's it. A great song is a great song. As far as I'm concerned, they're not easy to write. And I hope, I have at least one or two, if not more. But it's really what it's about for me. It's great songs that I look forward to sharing with people, as you mentioned. Any opportunity that presents itself. Great response on the EP with the radio station. That's just over 100 college stations are playing it. Prior to that, there was a playing of 12 on Sunday on the internet mostly. Over 100 stations as well. So it's really exciting, as you can tell from the sound of my voice.
Yeah, you're very exuberant.
I'm sure. But I have to say, you said it yourself. A great song is a great song, and like many other musicians and artists, I'm moved by them when I hear them, and I hope to create that feeling and pass it on to people who take a moment to listen to a song I write. And that's what it's all about.
One of my the people I look up to the most, Chips Enough, of Enough's Enough, co-founder and now frontman of the group. I met him years and years ago. I got to open for them, and one of my favorite groups of all time, criminally underrated, great songwriters. And I asked him what the secret was, and that's what he said. He goes, "Don't worry about styles." He just says, "Just write great songs, write what's in your heart, and it's all about the song, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Not the genre, not the style, not what's out that week. Great song is a great song, and that's it. You could play it on acoustic guitar, on piano." He said you could hum it and back to somebody, and that song is going to resonate. So I agree 10,000%, and I stand behind what I told Nikki 2 years ago or during that show. Now, Rising Tide, you mentioned that's an EP. It's 5 cuts on that, correct?
Yes, that is correct. 5 songs. Laura and I talked about how it would be best to introduce me to crowds and listeners, audiences, and she favors that format. Sort of gets an introduction, and it's pretty good because what I understand of her world, which is certainly not mine when it comes to approaching radio stations. Some stations, especially college stations, like to be able to play a handful of songs, and yet the single format is not that appealing to them because then it's only one and they can't choose, right? So 5 gives you enough to choose from, and you can play 2 or 3 in a row from one artist.
And yet it's not the burden of a full album.
Right. So that's where it came from. I'm very pleased with these songs to begin with. So I'm all for it. And there's more to come. So if everything goes well and people want to hear more, then there'll be more. That's for sure.
Absolutely. This is the Ray Powers Hour. I'm here with Elle, and he's calling from New York City, his home. And we're talking about releasing an EP. Now, that does seem to be a very happy medium these days. A single is a very one-and-done format, obviously. And especially today, when it's digital, it's not like when you released a 45, 35 years ago, where you had an A and a B side. At least you had two choices. Now it's literally just that one download, and that's it.
Yes. And you have, obviously, the option to listen to snippets of songs before you even purchase one. And that, to me, is fantastic. I mean, the technology makes music available and allows you to do what I like best, is variety, you know. You can download anything and everything from Chopin to, current music to Jay-Z and whatnot, and
everything in
put
between.
Together a playlist that really works for you, you know. I get ready to go take a walk. I've got my MP3 player and I've got my playlist, and I can even choose a playlist depending on the weather, or if I'm taking a subway ride, and I need to be energized and not be overwhelmed by the crowds and the noise, I can blast that. Or if I want something a little calmer, if I'm taking a walk in Central Park, then I'll have a playlist that's more acoustic and relaxed. Or vice versa. I've been known to blast my ears off in Central Park as well with some rocking music. So, but that to me is fantastic. You know, you're not bound or tied to what the CD contains or whatever format pre-existed, or anything that is put together for you. You can do the mashup, right? That's the term, I believe.
The two songs in one, yeah. Well, that brings up a good point. You know, being born and raised in New York City, do you feel that might have given you more exposure to more styles and maybe lent to more diversity, and maybe that kind of, or I would say directly influenced you to be open to just about any style of music out there? Do you feel that being in New York City, being the melting pot in the melting pot, had any effect on that at all?
I totally agree with you, but it did not occur to me until I traveled. Because,
right.
It's the normal, you know? It's like, hey, that's the way it is, right? What do you want to eat tonight? Well, I don't know. What's in the menu folder? Right? Oh, we got Chinese.
It weighs 25 pounds. Just the
Italian.
menus, yeah.
We got tons of choices. Less so when you travel, and I spent about 3 months in Europe this summer. France, Switzerland, Germany, Italy, and it was just very different. Yet the world is just expanding in a way where things are normalized between countries that do business together. So you don't look for certain things perhaps as you would have in the past. But until I got out of New York and got a sense for how different it was outside of New York, I did not start to understand and appreciate the melting pot as you described it. So you're absolutely correct, but I took it for granted. Now I'm more appreciative of that. And yes, the music is just amazing. From all genres, it's great. The availability, the talent that is here, and it just is so beautiful to have all that, and just taking it in and somehow having something come out of it that is also unique because of that, those influences around you.
Yeah, and I'm born and bred in New York myself. I live on the New Jersey side now, but I was born in Brooklyn, born in Queens, brought home to Brooklyn, and raised in both boroughs, spent a lot of time in Manhattan. And it's true, nothing impresses you anymore once you've lived in New York.
But, one thing that always amazes me is how peaceful New York is, considering that it probably has representations of people from everywhere in the world, or just about. relatively so. And
Yeah, it's got to be close to every country you mentioned, especially with the UN in town. I would imagine it's got to be very representative of just about every place in the world.
Exactly.
Or the closest you're going to find. Well, I'd like to play your title cut. I saved it for when you were on the line. Your title cut, Rising Tide. Tell me what brought about the idea for Rising Tide and what made you decide on this for the title cut.
Oh, great. Thank you for the question. Great question. Rising Tide came out of experiencing this overwhelming rise of emotions as a result of being far away from someone I loved dearly, a woman. So that adds anything to the to the description. But the point was that not knowing how she felt was one thing, but also this sort of like nothing I could do against the rush and the emotional tidal wave that was coming at me. And that's the image that kept coming, that it's sort of like, they say you can stop fire pretty much or pretty quickly eventually, though the folks who battle forest fires may argue a bit sometimes with that statement. But water, and as we know here in New York City and the Jersey coast and Long Island, when it's rising, you can't stop it. I mean, it's just will rise. Rivers in the area, like in Jersey.
It's an irresistible force, absolutely.
Rise and rise and rise until they decide that it's over, right? We don't control it. And I didn't, it wasn't tied to a particular weather event, but, the image of this overwhelming flow of emotions and feelings just triggered that in me, and that's what the song is about, being eventually on this island where, the water is rising around you and you have less and less ground space, and if it doesn't stop, you're just submerged. And I try to render that as best as I could through, the playing and the singing and the lyrics, of course.
Okay, well, that's a great backstory. That's something that I wouldn't have taken from that title. So that's a great story.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, with a setup like that, we only have one thing left to do, and that's play the song. Let's spin it.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Ray.
This is the Ray Powers Era. You just heard the title cut, Rising Tide, JL's, well, I would say brand new. It's still brand new EP. It's only February. I mean, it's still warm, right? It's still warm off the presses.
Well, that's the way I look at it. But nowadays, the speed at which information travels and what is made available to us, it's 2 months, just about, almost.
Yeah, and for an indie artist, singles and EPs, they take more time to cultivate and get around the world without MTV being what it was 25, 30 years ago. It's and without commercial radio, obviously, pushing music. I'm not going to get into that, but we have more time to cultivate these things and to market them. There's not so much of a deadline anymore.
What I appreciate nowadays, for sure, is that you can listen at your leisure, and you're not bound to when a certain song or when a certain TV show or a certain movie is going to be made available either on the radio or through a network. So you have to deal with volume of songs, and I think that's fantastic. Obviously, it's more competitive in that way, perhaps, than it was. But at the same time, if your life falls out for you having an hour to yourself at 3 a.m. or 9 a.m. or noon for lunch, whatever it might be, you can listen to whatever you want. You can log in somewhere, you can design your playlist, you can catch up with whatever I just did with your Nikki Breyer show, right? Or as I told you about your song, It's You, right? That you sing, that's just a wonderful song.
Thank you.
I can, make that a favorite. I can go back to it, listen to it again.
Anytime you want.
When, I have plenty of time to really concentrate on that, or I can, make sure it's on my playlist when, hey, this is perfect when I feel like listening to something groovy. So that, to me, is fantastic. If you and I, as we are now, are discussing music, you could tell me, hey, did you hear XYZ? And I'll be like, no, I look forward to it. And I'll find it quickly
within 2
by
seconds,
searching for it on the internet.
It's a push-button world. Here it is. I can just email you the link. There it is.
Right, exactly. That's fantastic because, I shared your station with folks on Facebook and Twitter. I don't know how much of an impact it has in terms of the numbers, but it's one more person who's saying, hey, this is great, check it out. And that's possible nowadays, which I don't believe there was an equivalent to that in the past, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, and I appreciate it. If you turned one head to me, I appreciate that, and I hope I can reciprocate that with many listeners tonight. We have people chatting in the chat room, and they'll tell you what they think. They're especially after a couple of especially after 20 minutes in the chat room, and they're at a rambunctious peak. They'll tell you. They're great that way.
These rambunctious chat room visitors.
That's the truth.
That's great, though. Yeah, I mean, nothing like sharing some energy and getting the energy back from people. It's just wonderful.
Okay. Now, Jay, I did my homework. It said that you've worked with Bernard Edwards, the late Bernard Edwards of Chic.
Yes, indeed. Yes, and that was for a brief encounter. But it was a lot of fun. I was, at the time, working with a band, and they were making an album. And I was just actually doing some management work. I was doing that. And then we sat down and did some music work as well. So I was in the studio all the time and got to chit-chat with Bernard and got to play, with him. So we didn't record anything together. But we spent a lot of time discussing the band's recordings, and was at all the sessions and watching and participating from, a different viewpoint on that. So that was fun. It's just so sad that he left us that early.
Way too
career,
early. So
incredible musician, super nice human being. Sweet and also really cool. Relaxed.
One of the most imitated.
Totally easy to work with, and it was great.
One of the most imitated and copied bassists of all time. He's one of the prime reasons I play bass today. And hands down, He's absolutely one of the best that's ever lived. Yes,
without a doubt. And really humble about it. It was never,
very understated.
Anything like, and I think that's what I learned most is producing approach.
Right. He let Niall do that.
It was all about the performance.
Absolutely.
He would just make sure that. The band, the sounds, that we had the best possible conditions, and just play and play and play and keep on playing. Whenever it was like you felt that everybody was ready, it was just like, okay, roll the tape. And over time, you can tell. How people get more comfortable, relax. And there's no, especially for a band, because, just like myself, they were all very impressed by him as a musician, and you're the bass player of the band, and you're playing, and on the other side of the glass is Bernard Edwards. I mean, you can't, it's difficult to just put that out of your head and just focus on the music. In a matter of minutes, or even hours, or even a couple of days. You have to from his standpoint, and he did that very well, Bernard. That is, making people feel relaxed and comfortable. And I would imagine you can talk about that yourself, also from conducting interviews, right? I mean,
Well, absolutely.
if
Yeah.
the person you're interviewing can't really relax, you're not going to get like a great interview, I would imagine, or it's not going to be as good, perhaps, as making sure the folks are comfortable, and you do that well as well. So it's
thank you.
It's just great. It was a great experience.
I've been on the performance side of that as well. I've had to sing backups for Charlie Thomas of the Drifters, and that I did it twice. The first time, I was absolutely petrified. I'm like, oh my God, what if this is terrible? What if he hates it? And the second time, he was there, and it was like, but we were friends at that point. Still, I'm realizing as I'm finishing up, I'm like, oh my God, he's listening to this. A dry with no effects. Good Lord. But you know what? You do it. I mean, this is what we do. And he was completely supportive, and that means everything. Jay, we're running out of time here. We only have an hour show. But if it's okay with you, I'd like to throw some rapid-fire questions at you. How would that work?
All right. Let's hear it.
Okay. What's been your coolest gig to date?
Oh, well, I just had the most wonderful experience about, I'd say, a little bit over a month ago. There was a group of New York City singers, including one of the Roach sisters, who got together under the arch in Washington Square Park. And it's a yearly event to sing Christmas songs, Christmas carols. And I have to tell you, that's what a performance is about. There were at least over 50, 60 people by the time everybody just got joined in, or passersby also. It started as a group of about 20 plus singers, and it was just amazing. The arch gives you that sound. It was just, everybody was singing along. They had lyric sheets to pass around, and just in case you didn't know the words to, any of the Christmas carols.
They had them for you.
Some of us are more familiar than others, but Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was one, But that, to me, was a great performance, and I was so happy to be part of it.
Awesome. Okay, your dream venue.
Well, I don't know exactly what's going on with the Madison Square Garden, but that would be great.
Wouldn't it?
Now, I don't know if it's still,
Oh, it's still valid. I mean, Billy Joel goes there once a month. He has a residency. He's like, I think I'll play the Garden again. He just books it out for the year, and he shows up there 12 times in a year. It's like, they're going to rename the Garden soon. It's going to be the Billy Joel Garden, and that's what it is.
Great. I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
He's just amazing. So he can have so many places renamed after him. That's great. In fact, they should build another one and name it after.
The next
That's
one.
what they should do. Period.
Yeah, Garden 5 has to be the Billy Joel Garden. Okay, what's more fun, the studio or the live stage?
Oh, well, they all have fun aspects, for sure. Fun aspect of being on stage, most likely something completely unexpected is going to happen. And it's up to you to deal with it. Whether it's noticeable to everybody in the room or not, that, it doesn't matter. So the unexpected is great. In the studios, the creativity is boundless. You just, you're free to do anything you want, because you don't have to, at least the way I feel it, live up to some expectations of what the person in the room is here to listen to. So very different, but both fun for different reasons.
Absolutely. And before we go, where can we get Rising Tide?
Yes, thank you for asking. It's great. It's available certainly at Star One Records, star1.com. It's available at Amazon, iTunes, over 600 distributors worldwide, digital distributors. And certainly my website will point you there, which is jl222.com. So it's out there. Easy to find.
Well, Jay, I can't thank you enough for joining me. Go get JL's new EP, Rising Tide, 5 great tracks, and go see him live. Go to the website, jl222.com. Jay, thanks so much. Come back anytime.
Thank you, Ray. It's a pleasure, and I will be back.
Thanks.
The Ray Powers Hour.